All right, check out this giant tree. I mean, it's not a centurion, but it's probably 80 meters tall. But look at this. See that bushfire scarring? That is from a bushfire. Can you see the charcoal? Yeah. Yes, this is an old tree that would have been growing before the Westerners arrived in Australia, right? Well, actually, no, it would have been. Probably just, yeah, no, it would have been, for sure. Would have been 100 years old then, right? So, here we go here. There's been extensive bushfire damage in all this area. So that tree there has black scarring charcoal from bushfires. But this guy on YouTube, I don't even know the name of his channel, but he's reached out, he's sending videos to Roger from Mud Fossil University, but they're all fake. He is saying that all of these trees are scarred from Aboriginals, therefore they're sacred sites, right? Now, over time, all that charcoal disappears, basically, you know. Possums run up it, scratch it out. Water, rain, washes it away. So that fire damage is quite recent. But anyway, he's really underestimating everyone's ability to think and everyone's IQ, because he's going up to trees that are like 30, 40 years old. Like, see that one? That tree there is about 15 years old, right? That one behind it, yeah, probably about 20 years old, yeah? Now, he's finding this same bushfire damage in trees like that, and he's saying it's pre-colonial times. Can you also see the theme here? They've all had fire damage, which goes away over time, yeah? So he's trying to say that these are sacred sites, that they're Aboriginal scarred, and he's also doing some really, really shady stuff where he's going out to like these rocky alcoves with white chalk, and he's making fake hand stencils. The guy is an absolute fraud, and it's disgusting what he's doing, because his agenda basically is to try and find all these fake Aboriginal sacred sites and push people off their own land, yeah? And he's even done stuff where he's done scarring in ridiculous stuff that has nothing to do with anything I've ever seen in the Aboriginal art record, where you can still see like this. He's gone up to trees that are like 20 years old, and he's saying, oh, this is ancient Aboriginal, it's sacred, while the sap's still dripping from where he got in there with his pocket knife, you know what I mean? So Roger, if you're watching this, just know that this guy's an absolute fraud, and he's got an agenda. And he's also trying to say that these mud fossil titans are carved by Aboriginals. It's nonsense. So everything he does is twisting the narrative, and you know, he's got two things. He wants to get famous, and he thinks everyone's stupid, but he's got an agenda to push people off their land, or block us from going into parks and places like that. So, you know, it's pretty fraudulent. And, you know, like, you're going up to trees that have got bushfire damage that are 20 years old, and he's saying, oh, this is ancient Aboriginal. One of his episodes, he's just on a really worn track, a walking trail, and you can look in the background, he's just on the fringes of a farm in a valley, and he's saying this is an ancient Aboriginal track. No, it's probably the kids who own that farm. The kids of the owner of that farm that have walked up there for years, you know what I mean? So, Roger, if you're seeing this, just know that this Australian, I think it's Australian Truthseeker, that's the name of his channel, but he is twisting the whole narrative, and he's got an agenda. And it's quite racially divisive, because it's a big thing happening in Australia right now. Iconic places like Uluru, we cannot climb anymore because it's sacred. So, you know, and look, sites that are really protected and named as sacred, and they're going to be very soon like places we cannot go at all, places of Aboriginal hand stencils, right? And he's going out there and he's doing them himself with chalk. It's ridiculous, yeah? So all these people are watching him from foreign countries thinking, oh, this guy, you know, wow, this is amazing. But when you're an Australian, you know how trees grow, how old trees are, and you've studied Aboriginal rock art, you just know that this guy is totally, totally bogus. But anyway, enough about that. But I just want to prove that some Aboriginal 500 years ago didn't carve that in. That is from bushfires. That's how they get damaged. So this guy's found whole forests of trees that are like 30 years old, basically. And he said, oh, this is a really sacred site because all the trees have been carved. And it's a joke. Here's a joke. And he's saying mud fossils are carved from Aboriginals. Well, there's no record of them having tools like that. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So anyway, know when someone's a fraud and a fake, and don't give him any time. Don't give him any time. So I believe his channel is Australian Truthseeker. So just think about that. It should be Australian Hoaxmaker, you know, with an agenda. So yeah, little by little, they're changing the names of all the places that we grew up with, and they're pushing us out. And you know, where does it end? You know, people are going to lose their house. It's all tied into Agenda 21, getting people off the land, out of the country, and moving into these smart 15-minute cities, all of that. And this guy is a shill for that. So that there, that's not carved. That's not a scar tree from an Aboriginal 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago. Yes, this is an old tree. It's probably 400 years old, this. But there you go. It's from bushfires, and that's it. This is no sacred site that needs to be protected, you know. Anyway, God bless you. There's my rant on that. But yeah, it really irritates me when I watch his show and I see all these comments. People going, "Oh, this is amazing, fascinating," but it's all fake. Fake hand stencils. It's really bad news. So anyway, Aussie Truthseeker, don't watch it because it's all a lie, all of it.